Hello and welcome to the Sketching Greyhound. Thank you very much for dropping by. I am drawing that perhaps you expected with the name and everything. Even if you're new, you probably guessed that. And yeah, we are drawing today Constantine. I have recently seen the movie again. I think yesterday or the day before that. I think the day before that. And I like the movie, the old movie with Keanu Reeves. So I thought, why not draw him? And that's what we're doing today. Let me quickly put on music. I haven't done that yet. I'm sorry. So I will have to do it, make it a little bit less loud. Let me see. You cannot hear any music anyway. I have So, I think I've talked just for nothing. I think the microphone wasn't on at all. So sorry for that. So, quite boring first few minutes, but I will tell you what I said, but I will also start so that we get something done here today. So, yeah, we'll start with the face, and I will tell you what I have told the boy here, or my dog. My dog is actually here. He's lying there, and I'm not sure when he will want to go. I will have to let him out, but right now he's still here. So, okay, I said, let me quickly then go to talk about the chat, which I answered, which you did not hear. Thank you very much for dropping by, Artab. And if you hear this later, thank you very much for letting me know that you can come, and looking forward to see you next time. Yeah, and thanks for dropping by. And Isabel, I said yes, Darcy is a very interesting character. I like her. She gets quite some more dimension in WandaVision, doesn't she? So I cannot promise that it will be next time, but I will definitely keep that in the back of the mind. It gets more and more that I'm not really sure who to draw for quite some time, so might be that Darcy will come up quickly. But of course not on the Friday stream, as that is the Buffy stream. Okay, so I am drawing Constantine today, as you can see, and as you have seen from the name of the video, the stream. I've seen the movie day before yesterday, I think, and I really like the movie. It's not perfect, just as my pictures, but and Keanu Reeves is not exactly the ideal Constantine. I think there was a big commotion when it was announced that he would be playing Constantine, but we're talking about a time where my head was again always underneath the camera. We're talking about a time where comic book movies were not really common. So that's too high. So they didn't know if they would make any money with this, with Constantine. And that's the pretty understandable reason why they thought, we're not sure if the IP itself will draw in people enough, so let's cast Constantine with an actor that is quite well known. And yeah, they did. Wasn't that long after Matrix, I think, so he should have been quite expensive actually. So yeah, he would also not have been my favorite candidate for Constantine. For example, the comic Constantine is blonde, you know. Not sure if they have even thought about making him blonde. Perhaps he has said, okay, I do it, but I won't become blonde. I don't know. Would have been interesting to see him in blonde. But he did a decent job. He's not really optically, he's not really perfect. He's not the ideal Constantine. He doesn't look exactly the part if you look at the comic Constantine. But he plays the character and the issues the character has and everything. He plays that reasonably believable. So I think that's too dark what I'm drawing here underneath the eye. He has very dark eyes, almost black. So we want to try and do that justice. This picture will not be extremely easy to decide on how dark everything should be. But yeah. We will decide on the fly. This already is a little bit light and shadow in this picture are a little bit of a challenge for me. I'm still not really sure how I will handle it. It will be, as I said, on the fly. It will be a little bit spontaneous, like the decision to draw the white of the eye a little bit whiter. We'll see how fast I will be. I was thinking small head, perhaps a little bit faster than usual, but I wouldn't count on it. Thing is also, I will draw a little bit of the white shirt anyway. Probably not the whole parts, but around the edges and stuff. So I cannot really go extremely white in the face, because that would just not look fitting, that would not harmonize well. So I will stay away from my very white one. I have just drawn a little bit underneath the eye, but it didn't really work that well because too small an area for that pen still. But I will take my polychromos white and use that for the highlights. But probably let me. Yeah, I'm not sure how to start. You perhaps are noticing that. Still a little bit frazzled. Is that word? I think it is. Not sure yet how dark, how deep the shadow under the eye has to be carried. Hey Jane Salton, welcome to the stream. How are you today? Thank you very much for dropping by. We've just started. Not that much to see yet. As always, I start with the proportions already put into place, so then we can start faster and more direct. Cannot even see in the original any hair details in the eyebrows. It's not that good a quality. It's never wrong to still try to get a little bit of a hair texture in there, because we all know that you know, eyebrows are hair. And it's not a secret, so okay, so first eye positioned, I would say. The second eye will go very dark, so it might look strange if we just draw it by itself, but we will do. Or the surrounding shadows will be required to make it look realistic, because we will go very dark. And I have to watch my head again. Sorry for the constant head. So I was deciding on Constantine mainly because of the movie. I'm not that big of a Keanu Reeves fan or something, but I actually would find it cool if they would bring back Keanu Reeves in that role, simply because he has already played it, and he played it well. I spoke about it in the beginning that he's not really the perfect he wasn't really the perfect candidate for this. It was a little bit of a strange casting choice even. Probably purely because of his fame. But he did well. He didn't do half bad. And I would find it fun. He is DC Comics, if you're not that as terribly and nerdy aware of that fact as I am. He is from DC Comics, so he lives in the same universe as Superman and Batman and stuff. So it would be fun if they would bring him as Constantine back. I think they have been planning a movie in the DC universe with magic-based characters. Justice League Dark, I think, is the name of a magic-based Justice League with magic-based characters, which are not as commonly known as a Batman or a Superman. So it's a bit of a risk, but that was also the case with most characters in Suicide Squad. And the movie seems to have grossed enough money so that there is a sequel. And that was the Harley Quinn spin-off. So I would find it interesting if they would bring him back as an older, because Constantine is supposed to be a little bit older than he was at that time. So age-wise, it could work much better than in the past. The age issue of the miscasting would be non-existent anymore. But probably won't. They don't think as big as Marvel does with the movies. I thought of Constantine again because I drew Lucifer the other day. It's already a little bit past again. And when I was looking up something for the commentary on that video, I noticed, I did not know that before, or did not realize it, that the Lucifer, but it makes sense, I knew Lucifer is a DC comic character, but that Lucifer is the same, in theory, than the one in the Constantine movie. However, very different characters, just the same name, I would say, actually. Because if you look at in the comics, Lucifer is quite evil. I'm not sure if he has ever any kind of comic run where he is not pure evil. And in the series Lucifer, they completely changed that, so I have no idea why they even bothered to base it on the DC character at all. But I'm not so knowledgeable, I could be completely wrong with that. I'm not that knowledgeable with Lucifer in DC Comics. It looks strange, as I said, because the missing shadows. But I cannot really draw the shadow in before I haven't looked a little bit at the nose beforehand, so I know exactly, so I don't misplace the nose, if you know what I mean. So I don't know exactly, or anything. I haven't consciously read a comic with a Lucifer comic character, but as far as I read online, he is dark and evil normally in the comics, and extremely powerful. They have changed that for the series. He's not that powerful. He can't bend reality or stuff like that. Which he potentially at least can in the comics. But he can draw desires out of people, so they tell him his desires. So why am I talking again about Lucifer? I should be talking more about Constantine. So if you don't know Constantine, the character, he is, if you also haven't seen the movie, he is more or less a supernatural detective. So he tackled supernatural challenges, the threats, magical threats. Not just supernatural, but magical threats. He actually is quite adept in magic himself. And he uses magic to survive against the evil. also get a shadow, just shade it a little bit. Already just spontaneously, a bit of the area. So, eyebrow. Just paint in a little bit of the eyebrow, so that we then can start to plot our way downwards with the shadow to the nose from the eye. So he's a supernatural detective and a magical detective, so he is very well known in the magical community. But the comics are a bit more around the time when I would say his prime is already over, and he is a little bit fallen from grace. He's drinking a lot, he is smoking. And that makes it a bit strange because he just looks so young. Keanu Reeves just looks so young. So that is probably one of the reasons why people weren't that happy with the casting choice of Keanu Reeves. But Keanu Reeves was not just famous at that point in time. He was also already a pretty decent actor, so I think he did a good job. So probably also because I have not read that many comics with Constantine. Couple, but not complete runs or something, so I do not have a fixed picture of John Constantine in my mind. So I'm not really mad about the casting choice. So about this is the shadow. Still have to find the line of the nose on this side, which is not really a line, more the shadow. So I'm trying to keep this a little bit lighter, but there has to be a little shadow here inside. So, not as dark though. So for that, a nettable eraser is always very good. You can just lighten it a little bit when you get it to a level of darkness that you want. So we do not have that much details and lines in for the nose, so we have to be careful to try and make them as exact as possible, because we want this portrait to look like Keanu Reeves, and with not that many lines that define the nose and stuff, it means that those few lines we have, we need to get as detailed and exact as possible. But I think we are in a good place at the moment. It's too early to have ruined anything anyway. But I think it is not terrible yet. So I'm measuring a little bit. So I want to make sure that the shadow of the nose is long enough. And it seems to be. But I'm not really sure. Perhaps then the eye is not big enough, but something in the proportions is not so as I would like it to be. So let's put in a little bit of highlight on the nose, a little bit of a whiter area. A bit of this line, this whiter line, gives us also the opportunity to reassess the shadow line again. Here we have actually a little shadow that comes from the hand. So if we draw this in without the hand, it would not really work. It is probably the cigarette actually. So it will get a lot darker here, around here, but probably we should directly go for it. At least a little bit darker. So I'm not 100% decided yet on how dark to make this, you know. It cannot be one of the darkest areas. Well, it is one of the darkest areas in the picture. But the hair, for example, is much darker. Or the eyes also are much darker. I'm thinking about if I should use the blending tool. And I probably should. This will also be so. Saying I probably should and then directly starting. Yeah, you see, I have made the decision. So yeah, this is still not dark enough. We'll go in there with the Blackstone pencil, my favorite pencil. But for now, we will keep this very uniform. Ooh, I said you wanted to say uniform, and then it goes dark as heck and very ununiform. Yeah, I'm not a fan of. I'm not very good at blending yet. I've never really used that technique. I just recently started to work with such a blending stick a bit more. Not very good at it yet. But also for this, I'm not sure if people are doing it like I'm doing it, but with the Netable Eraser also in this case, you get quite good results. Why is the mouse not working? Now it works, and I have, of course, done everything that I did not want to do. So I want to make sure, yeah, that the microphone, because in the beginning the microphone did not work, and I didn't notice for a long time, so I just wanted to make sure that there is a microphone. So let's continue. We will go down to the mouth. And I will try to chase it a little bit with the with this pencil that is very easy to erase. I have already pre-drawn a little bit of the proportions and the stuff, so it's not completely out of the blue here what I'm drawing, but yeah. The mouth, color-wise, is not extremely standing apart from the skin that is surrounding it. So just the upper lip is a bit easier to see in the light parts, but in the dark parts also not that easy. So I also have to see that the mouth doesn't get too big. So it should reach about, actually it should be a little bit bigger. Would have thought that I'm too big, but actually it should be a little bit bigger. So let's see. It is again a little bit smaller, the face, than I usually draw faces. I draw them quite big, which makes it easier to reach a likeness. At least I think so. Might be that there are different opinions out there, but I feel like it's easier for me to make him look like the person I want to when it is bigger. Of course, it takes longer to shade a bigger face, everything, but you have more, you can get more details right, you know. It's always more difficult in a smaller area to get the a complex line exactly the way it is in real life. It's always kind of a challenge when you go smaller. So you have a little bit of likeness, I think, but it's also, it looks a bit artificial. So my version right now, so I'm not that happy with it yet. We'll have to wait and see how the rest turns out before we label this. This has still to get darker. I was a bit careful around here, but this has to become darker. About the same shade as on the nose, but a little bit lighter. Something is bothering me. I'm not yet sure what it is exactly. I think the nose, the shape, the length isn't exactly where we need it right now, but just to make it look a little bit more interesting, we will go for it with a little bit of the white pencil, so it looks a bit more striking. Always when you use on the gray paper white color pencil like this, or especially with the pastel one that I love using, which has a little bit, looks a little bit like then chalk. Chalk is the name. Yeah. So really white, really strikingly white. So that works quite good, but it would be too intense for this picture because we have to go with the intense white on the white shirt. So we cannot really use it in the face. Well, that doesn't mean that we can't have a little bit fun here with the white pencil. You see, it gives it directly a little bit more depth, and it works also already a little bit better with that part. But still, especially when I look at the small screen, it's a bit disappointing by now. The moment. Might also be this eye that is sticking out a little bit because it is quite difficult to see actually in the original because the shadow is completely covering it. At least the details are really difficult to see. Hello Lucas, thank you very much for dropping by. How are you today? And thank you very much for saying nice. Yeah, I'm not yet really happy with it, but I never really am happy with what I'm doing, so yeah, I think that is near now to the original. So let us make sure that we are pretty exact with this face line. So the line of the face, because I think that's actually also something that's missing right now that makes it look a little bit meh. So, ooh. Do not drop pencils on the floor. Never drop pencils on the floor. The mine, is it called mine in English? I'm not sure. But the lead inside breaks into multiple pieces, and then you will have a lot of fun when you try to sharpen it because it's already pre-broken. So most of the time when it breaks, or often, and probably not most of the time, but often when a pencil breaks when you are sharpening it, it was already broken. And you're just freeing the broken stuff from the wood so that it just falls out. Not a very helpful thing, I must say. I think actually that I am starting to like it a little bit more. Still looking at the eyes might be a little bit small. They shouldn't. I've measured them, but they seem a little bit small. Hello CD, welcome to the stream. Thank you very much for dropping by. It's a pretty quiet stream till now, so thank you very much for stopping by. One of your favorite movies? Yeah, I've seen it again. I've seen it a lot of times, and I've seen it again the day before yesterday. So I decided today, why not draw him? I think I will draw this eye a little bit bigger. But is it really a little bit? I think I will. It is a good movie. I really enjoyed it. I've already talked about how Keanu Reeves is in relationship to the comic books not the ideal choice, wasn't the ideal choice, but it was the logical choice because comic book movies weren't very big at that point in time. So they did not know if they make any money or if they get a crowd into the cinemas just purely on the premise of the IP. So they used a big name together with Rachel Weisz. I really like Rachel Weisz also. I've seen also the Mummy a couple of days ago again. So perhaps I will draw Rachel Weisz in the Mummy. It was also quite a fun movie. So now we have a little bit of a bigger eye, and I think that does our image good. I also have a little bit of white in here. Let's try to... doesn't work that good. Perhaps I will put in a little bit more later with the gel pen. Or should I do it right now? Well, it is a nice accent to have, so I probably will. Let's do it right now. So where to continue now? Hey Dudesy, welcome to the stream. Thank you very much for coming. Hey Mary, hi. Now the people are coming. The first hour was quite empty. But I filled it with a lot of droning on about Constantine. So who of you do not know the movie? Should I explain again who Constantine is? So by now we have also more or less automatically pretty good picture of how dark we will go, how we'll shade it, everything. There's something that still bothers me about this picture. I think the eyes. I'm not happy with the eyes. They might be too small. I've already made this one a bit bigger, but still not happy. Oh, we'll see. I think we have to go for now and see at a later point if we correct something about that still. This is anyway a little bit more of a challenge due to the fact that we have the hand also and a lot of the body that might be necessary. Right now I'm still hoping that with a little bit of white it looks interesting enough without completing every single detail of the clothes. We will see. Ah, okay, thank you very much, Mary. Sometimes I don't understand the counter, the people counter. Oh, there's Buffy in the tags. Well, I won't change it now. I don't understand the counter, the people counter, because in between it was listed as one watcher, and I also have it open to see that everything is working right, and that I'm, for example, with that you don't see the head and everything, and also I'm using it to read the chat better on another screen. So if you were there the whole time, YouTube again decided just to count one of us and not the other. So I really don't get it. They make it harder than they would need to. So hello Rochelle, welcome to the stream. Thank you very much for dropping by. How are you today? We are drawing here Constantine. I like the movie very much, so he might not be the perfect Constantine for us comic book nerds, so Keanu Reeves, but I still enjoyed the movie. And he did a good job. It's not his fault that he was too young and not blonde and stuff like that, but he did a good job. Keanu Reeves, that is. So he gets a portrait. So I'm not happy. Something is really still bothering me. I always get to a point where I think it's okay again, then something is bothering me. I'm not sure. It is a good movie, isn't it? It is a really fun movie. I like to watch something I have already seen while I'm drawing. A movie that I like, or a series that I like. So I rewatched Constantine. So I thought, why not draw the man? I already talked about how I would found it cool if they would decide to bring Constantine as a character and Keanu Reeves as his actor back to the movies, as he's a DC Comics character, so he could appear as a magical helper in the Superman and Batman and so on movies. That would be fun, I think. Especially since now he has the age that he's an even better Constantine. I don't know. You know more about Keanu Reeves than I do. I don't know that much about him. I'm really just drawing him because of the role and that I like the movie. I'm not necessarily a big Keanu Reeves fan. I don't even know if what he has done recently. I was already thinking about what movies did he make more recently. I know that he was playing in a computer game. I actually played that game. Cyberpunk 2077, I think is the number. Not that good with numbers. So he played in that game. But I don't know any movies actually that he has been playing in recently. So not necessarily the biggest Keanu Reeves fan, although I appreciate him. But I like the movie very much. Although not everyone was happy with the casting choice. You're completely right, John Wick. I have not seen that because I was told that quite in the beginning, spoiler alert, perhaps I won't say that because of spoiler. But in the beginning, somebody dies. That is not a spoiler. It's an action movie, so that is very normally. But his motivation for going out there and doing what he's doing, you know, the someone that is killed, I don't want to see that. For some reason I have more difficulties with that than if it was a regular human being. I don't know why. I have no idea why. Although my theory is that... Nah, let's not talk about death and killing too much. But I haven't seen John Wick. I would have to jump over the beginning part, I think. Yeah, I haven't seen them. But they are available on Netflix, I think. So I might. Yeah, but as I said, I would probably skip over the beginning motivation part. Or at least I would close my eyes. There were a couple of John Wicks, right? At least 2. Were there more? So I'm not that good yet at blending, I'm still learning. So this looks very uniform right now, which is not exactly the look we need and want. It's becoming summer and this room is getting hot by this time. How are you surviving yet? Do you have already also, is it warm where you are? Roche, I think you are in the US, right? So You probably have AC. It's not that common here in Germany, not at all. We have a mobile one. I've bought one in a very hot summer, but we haven't gotten that out of the cellar yet. And it's also just, it's not that powerful, and it's very loud, so I would not be able to use it here while drawing anyway. Hello TL, welcome to the stream. Thank you very much for dropping by again. How are you? I hope you are well. So by the way, we have a couple of artists here. So Rochelle has a very cool channel. She has done an art supply. Oh, I haven't seen your art supply haul yet. So, but your studio vlog, that was very interesting. I thought that was very insightful. It was also the first video that I have seen where you used the face cam, so very interesting to get to know you a little bit better. And of course, Mary, enjoy drawing with Mary, who is a very talented watercolor artist, also with a lot of very cool dreamlike fantasy worlds, for example. Very cool stuff, so definitely check them out. Audio cut, I hope not on my side. I was asking about temperature and if it is warm where you guys are and how you cope, and I was just referring as you are American when I see it correctly, Rochelle, that you probably have an AC. That was what I was saying, and that it is not very common in Germany to have an AC, unfortunately. Although energy, you know, nature stuff, probably good that there aren't that many ACs here, but still I'd like to have one for a couple of days in the year to just cool a little bit down. You know, I get a problem when it just is so hot constantly for a couple of days where you do not get a breather at all, not even in the night. So those are the moments where I really would like to have a powerful AC. And we only have a portable one, which is loud and not that effective. Heat warning, TL. Hey. Be careful. So don't stay in the sun for too long. Our good days, our nice days are already over again. It's supposed to get very rainy starting tomorrow for a couple of days, and then start next week only. Of course, we have a bank holiday tomorrow, so long weekend for a lot of people, and of course that is rainy, starting directly with the bank holiday. Rainy. Typical, isn't it? So I'm not very good at blending, so this looks a little bit bland. Sorry. Well, it looks a little bit everything a bit mushed. Let's fill in the forehead. Might help a little bit. That's one of the missing pieces here. I prefer not to use the blending stick so much, but on the gray paper it almost is necessary. For some reason I have new gray paper. I will see if I feel it to be as necessary on that one. If you look at my Oz, for example, I did not blend there on the gray paper. Oz, O-Z, if you're interested in looking it up. I did not blend there, and it looks quite messy. It was a conscious decision for that portrait, but still, that's a look I get on the grave when I don't blend. Should look at tutorial. I just started doing it. And I'm not sure if I'm even doing it right. So it might be that I'm not using the tool correctly. So Iowa in the US, where I live, it can be 40 and rainy one day and 85 and Iowa. I'm totally outing me right now. Iowa is not. Illinois is where Chicago is, right? Is Iowa around there? I somehow place it there. Let me. I look it up. You don't have to tell me. I know a couple of states where they are a little bit, but not all of them. But I will get a map very quickly. Ah, right in the middle. I was in Minneapolis once. I was quite close to Rochester, somewhere there. I was there for work. So I was close to Iowa, but I was not in Iowa. And yeah, Chicago, around Chicago, there I was a lot for work. Naperville, that area. So yeah, I placed it in my head, I placed it correctly. I just did not trust myself. And it is a little bit, yeah, not exactly middle, right? There is the big, and there's already Chicago, but a little bit in the middle. Where's my there? My eraser. I'm always also a little bit self-conscious about how I use the knittable eraser together with the blending tool, but on the other hand, I'm normally a vocal advocate for using the tools however you want to anyway, and however you feel it's right for your picture, and however it works for you. So I should also give myself the right to just use it. Hey Gurium, welcome to the stream. Thank you very much. Gurium also a very good artist. Check out his I don't know. I don't know right now. I don't want to misgender you. Let me take a look again at your hand. Male, right? But beautiful hands for a male. So, I don't have that beautiful hands. But you kinda can't hide them when you're drawing for a video camera, can you? I've seen one, I don't know right now which channel that is always using gloves, plasticky gloves. So I don't know if the reason is that artist doesn't want to show the hands, or if it is a cleanliness issue, or I have no idea. Okay, I think I will have to feed the dogs for a second. I will be back in a second. Don't leave. So I'm back, sorry for that, but the dogs gotta eat. The big one was actually lying next to me here, and the stomach was growling like crazy, so I couldn't wait any longer to give them their... A lady. Beautiful hands, also for a lady. I'm sorry for misgendering. Are you still there, or have you now decided you will never speak to me again? So, still not really 100% in love with this one. I think that eye has to become a little bit bigger. I have already tried twice, but still not successful. So a little bit more detail in the shading on the forehead, but with shading that we will not blend, I think. Very light colored. You're still here, okay. Again, I'm very sorry. But that's what you get for not showing your face on camera. Stuff like that happens. So I'm not happy with my picture today. I said that already a lot, and I will probably still say it again and again. This is not very good what I'm producing here. Or at least I can do better. Might not be terrible, but it could be better. I get that. I like to see the person drawing, so that's why I also was very happy about Rochelle's vlog video, where she tells a little bit about herself. She shows her face, and I like to know stuff like that. But I started in when my first channel was a gaming video channel, and I think that you have to show your face because there are so many people doing that, so you have to sell yourself, and not only what you do. Might be different with art because you're selling more what you do than yourself, probably, but also I think yourself a little bit always when you go on YouTube. Or at least it cannot hurt if you do, but it is probably not as intense. But I think I'm carrying that that mentality over from my gaming channel days to the art channel. So I like to see the people. I also had a broken face cam once. It's not terrible if you cannot see, but still something is bothering me about this. I think it is the eyes. Should I try to fix the eyes now or later? I've redrawn the left eye already. And I've tried to make the right one also bigger already a couple of times. So somehow it still is not working. Not happy. The paper I'm using, you can actually find it in the description. There should be a link that you can look at the item. It is a Amazon Germany or UK one, so you could probably with English look at the UK one, but you don't have to buy it there, obviously. But you can see the article. It is a grey paper. I don't remember right now actually. It's on the back side. You can look in the description. I tend to make weird faces when I'm deep in thought. Actually, it took a long time for me to get comfortable enough to show my face on video, but actually weird faces are kind of, with kids at least, are kind of my trademark. I like to make faces for kids, and the kids seem to enjoy it, so I have a quite animated face for that purpose. Sometimes I'm being told that I'm a little bit stiff, but I can animate my face quite a lot. So let me check time. Okay, we are quite far in already. Although, as I said, I'm not really that happy, but at least we have already a first draft of the face all but done. Let's draw in the ear, and then I have to decide if we go first for the neck or the hair. The hair will be almost just pitch black. I might even decide to draw it just pitch black, also for style reasons. It is really dark and it has to fit to the overall tone of the picture. Maybe one day. You could do a face reveal as a milestone, but you don't show your number of subscribers, so you cannot use it as a subscriber milestone. Face reveal. So the song reminds me of Persona games. Don't know if anybody of you has played them. Done with the ear. Probably we should do the neck first before we tackle the hair. Although, as I said, the hair might turn out to be pretty quickly done and pretty easily done. I have zoomed in quite a lot into my picture, so I have to scroll down a bit. Hey Isabel, welcome to the stream. Trying to focus my art at this point, not letting this arrival can't bother me. Yeah, that's a very good attitude. That is, but you still see it, right? But I have changed my perspective on that also. So it really drove me crazy. The topic of subscriber count and all that. And yeah, by now I do it for myself. I want to be... I'm drawing for myself and to enjoy it, and I'm very happy when other people also enjoy it, but it doesn't drive me anymore as much, you know? because I lost. It stopped to be fun actually, because it was all about why aren't people coming into the stream, for example, stuff like that. So I changed my perspective and it worked surprisingly well, so that I had fun again. So you see, Mary, I am happy that we could solve the mystery of Gurium here in chat. You could change the names though if it would bother you, but why? I would not change it. It's a cool name. And yeah, I'm looking forward to that face reveal anyway. So I'm really happy that you guys are coming to my streams. I mean, it's fun to just communicate with all of you, and not just via comments, because also oftentimes I don't even notice if there is a message, if there is an answer to my comment. I'm not that good at noticing all that and answering comments even, and then to see and notice also the answers to comments I made. I'm not that good at it, so I really like that we have here an area where we can communicate a little bit. Ooh. Looks like my facecam died. We have been talking about facecam for too long. I don't think I can restart that actually. Perhaps it will. Let me try. Let me try to plug it out and plug it in again. But it doesn't look like it. I had to change some stuff technically. Oh, that might have worked. Let me see. I will change quickly the... No, it doesn't work. Okay, let me deactivate that actually, so it doesn't... Something is not working right. Okay, so now you have a big black circle. I don't know if you have noticed that I've changed my design a little bit. That's why it's not gray anymore, the circle, but it's black. I also changed my YouTube banner. I probably have to deconnect the camera so it doesn't... Something is connecting and reconnecting all the time, and I fear that you are hearing that sound. Not sure which device it is, but I have unplugged a couple of things now, and I hope it will be quiet again. I'm sorry for that. I'll actually try once more with the face cam. Ha! Camera has been almost falling, but it's back. Ha! Okay. I had to reinstall my Windows and installed everything clean, and now actually the camera is, I could do stuff with it that I could not do before. It is now directly connected to the OBS, but there seems to be something wrong. I have no idea why it is doing that. We will keep it off for now. Subs and views are hard to not get caught up in. Yes, exactly. Views right now, my views are pretty abysmal. Not happy with the views, but I try to just not take it really seriously. Although I'm not sure why they are suddenly going down. It's not as if I have changed anything. But right now they are not that good. Hey CD! Hey! I would have to reboot probably to make... I would have to reboot the PC, I would think. But... it's not just that it is a hassle to do, but it's also then I would have again 2 streams for today, 2 video files and stuff, which is sometimes confusing for people who are watching it later. So I think I will just continue without the face cam. You guys have seen me by now, haven't you? You know how I look. And I can make faces now and you can't see them. I think that's something off with his left eye and a little bit with his mouth, but I would probably work that out in layers. Yeah, I have to check it out, but I think you were right, but I have tried to redraw it so many times already. I will probably do at a later point in time, not in the stream. Try to get to the bottom of that. So we're in. New photo on the channel is great. Thank you very much, but I think I like the gray logo better. I like the contrast with the gray, and it's just easier. So I don't think that I don't see merchandise or something in the future necessarily, but you always get something in black. Gray is always more difficult. And it just, when I put the logo over the video, you know, my intro sequence with the gray, it never really popped that well with when you have the paper and everything, especially the gray paper in the background. It sometimes looked really bland, so I think that the gray got a little bit lost in that regard. So I think it is, at least that aspect is better with the black. Paint my nails in the beginning, but it's just a lot of work to maintain with life obligations. Yeah, especially when you put a camera on it, right? You would have to always make sure that your nails are not chipped and anything. Yeah, I can imagine that that would be too much of a hassle. I paint my nails with light color so I don't have to repair it if it's a little bit off. That's a good hack. Agree, so I'm enjoying paint for now. As long as we see what you draw, that's what matters. Yes, I think so too. Everybody think the shadows need to be just a bit darker on that inner eye. It looks very strange on that eye, so I will have to redraw that complete eye. And that eye, I think it's too small. I think both eyes are too small. I'm not sure though. So we'll paint a lot. I will use a lot of black now here in the hair. There are some light reflections on top of the head. I'm not sure how to handle them. Let's first make sure that we have all the limits here. All the surrounding. Time to cook dinner. So I will have to leave you. Thank you very much for being here at all, Silly. I do not have to look at the camera anymore to speak with you. But thank you very much for being here for so long. I really appreciate it, and I hope I will see you soon again. And enjoy your dinner. And ideally enjoy also cooking the dinner or preparing the dinner. So I probably will just go for it and make it all dark, and then I will see if I reintroduce a couple of highlights with the eraser actually, but yeah, at least draw the lines in the right direction so that if anything stays from the lines, I will blend this anyway in a second to get it darker. But if anything stays from the lines, we need that to have at least the right directions. Never hurts to be a bit correct with the lines, right? I actually also like my hair on Hulk, on Bruce Banner. My recent video. So I'm starting sometimes to feel a bit more confident with the hair. But interestingly, I think on black paper I have still kind of an issue with it. On the gray paper. See, even when I blend, the structure still stays if you don't draw the hair accordingly with a little bit of the idea of the right direction, how the hair is lying on top of the head, you are in trouble. This is not the only layer. We will introduce more darkness in here, but this way we can get some of the highlights actually without erasing. Okay, so here is also to a certain degree at least the first layer done. I'm sure I will manage to get it a little bit nicer when I take a step back, and then we will see, I will see it a bit clearer, and we'll probably redraw that eye. So, but I'm also pretty sure that this will never become one of my favorites. But I will take a look at the mouth and the eyes. Also, a couple of darker areas also always helps make it a bit more interesting. So we'll also use the black stone here for darkening a couple of areas. Make it pop a little bit more. Yeah, the eyes I will have to probably redraw. I'm not sure, but I will see. I tried to change how this eye looks now for a couple of times. So I have to be careful with my hand here, not to mess anything up. I need a bit of distance probably to really see and decide what to change. But I always have a bit of trouble with the smaller. This is a comparatively small portrait for what I normally do, so I have always trouble with reducing the sizes, so I'm not even sure if I will be able to fix this. If you look at my Aquaman, for example, I like it overall, but the face is not very precise. It does not really look like Jason Momoa is the name, right? So here we have very dark shadows underneath the shirt, and then just to make it a bit more visible, let us put in a little bit of the shirt already, but we're more or less done for the day. Tried the Tombow Mono Zero Eraser, never heard of it. I will open it up right now so I don't forget to look it up. Tombow Mono Zero Eraser. I will check that out. I have opened it up. If you two are thinking that is a good tool, it looks like my camera froze. Let me check. Probably, yeah. It is the battery. I hope it did not freeze for too long. Okay. Just a little bit of the white. Because I always like this stark white. On this side it cannot be as stark, so just really a couple of lines here. But already gives a little bit of feeling for the whole, you know. So as I said, I don't know if I will draw the shirt with the whole detail, or if I will just do it a little bit like this just to stylize it. We will see, but I will keep it like this for today's stream, I guess. Yeah, I would put the bigger me again on the screen, but the face cam isn't working anyway, so I think you'd like it. You can do very small erasing markers, so it would be great. Very small? That sounds really good. Yeah, then I would probably like it. Also for the eyes. Yeah, I've used the eraser in my Lucifer in the hair to put a little bit of detail afterwards, after it was really black in there, but it looks a bit, yeah, not ideal. And here I have this pen eraser, but it never, you cannot reach a real tip anymore. So this is as pointed as you get with a regular sharpener at least. Yeah, but that is, when I look at it like that right now, I think this has to be a little bit closer to the face. I think this is not correct. The eyes, I will have to take a look at that again. Both eyes. The mouth a little bit. And of course the nose is not there are no big mistakes with the nose, I think. So I'm a little bit happier with it already, but I think it will be when I fix a little bit around the eyes and this side of the face. That might be one of the more important things to do. Of course, I will have to add the hand and the cigarette next to see if I even have to add anything else, or how much of the shirt I have to add at least. So I'm not a big fan of drawing clothes, and I don't think everything has to be photorealistically. Perhaps I will draw in completely black the tie, and not. We will see. I'm not sure yet. But yeah, overall, I don't hate it as much as in between. I think I can fix it. At least to a certain degree. So yeah, thank you very much for spending time with me and watching the stream. Thank you, Rochelle. Thank you, Guriam. Thank you, TL. Thank you very much. And Mary, thank you so much. And yeah, it's always great having you here. It's always fun, and I really enjoy it, and I really appreciate it. So thanks to everybody else who was in the chat or is in the stream still. I am streaming live 2 times a week. Today, the Wednesday, and same time on Friday. Friday is Buffy centric, so if you're a Buffy fan or want to become one, that is the stream for you. We have the Buffy Club, and people are on my Discord, hopefully nominating right now, so that we can vote for somebody who will then be drawn on Friday. So see you in one of the next streams. Thank you all so much, and I hope I'll see you soon. And I hope again with the face cam then. So, and thank you very much. Goodbye.